I'm here. When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage.
Hey there, quirky peeps. Today I'm going to talk about Carnage from the latest trailer of Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The first trailer gave us a little teaser of the red symbiote, but this new one gives us a good chunk of him. Barring that crazy wig, the ending of Venom made us really happy with the revelation that Woody Harrelson is playing Cletus Cassidy. It was a very on-the-nose tease, as Cassidy said.
There's gonna be carnage.
Let There Be Carnage is really going to build upon this mid-credit scene. Carnage will certainly prove to be the evilest character brought to life. I mean, he is a villain who is literally irredeemable. Marvel has redeemed Loki multiple times now. They even made Thanos a hero of his own story. But Cletus Cassidy is a total psychopath in the comic, and when he comes to Carnage, he thinks of himself as a god. We've been seeing a lot of religious imagery in the trailers. Even the title of the film is a parallel to a quote from the Bible, that is, "Let there be light." But instead, we're getting the Let There Be Carnage. The new trailer has finally teased the origins of the red symbiote. In the comics, Carnage is an offspring of the Venom symbiote.
Your offspring! Offspring! Yes, we recall replicating.
Venom is like a father to this murderous goo. And Venom 2 seems to be bringing that to life in a different way. The first trailer made it seem that Cassidy already had a symbiote in him. His transformation into Carnage was an exact match to the comics. Then the trailer showed us certain people who were watching Cassidy while he was tied. They could be the relatives of Cassidy's murder victims, trying to get some closure by seeing Cassidy be poisoned to death. But right before the poison reached his arm, the Carnage symbiote countered it. You may have thought that this is his blood, but no, it's actually the symbiote that finally emerged. Apparently, Cassidy already had the symbiote in him before he is tied up to be killed. And now after seeing the second trailer, we know how he got it. He sent a letter to Eddie. But what's peculiar is that he wrote it in his own blood. Eddie was looking at the letter while Venom prepared breakfast for him.
Yummy.
So it is safe to assume that Venom came in contact with Cassidy's blood during this moment. Now hold on to this thought for a while. In the new trailer, Cassidy bites Eddie's hand in one of their meetings. He says,
I have tasted blood before, and that is not it.
So maybe he took a part of the Venom symbiote and it got infused with his blood. Symbiotes are hardly ever transferred through bites. But if you remember, the first film made a huge deal about the bonding that a symbiote must have with its host. Several people died because they weren't proper matches for the symbiotes. Now this is where the letter from the first trailer comes into play. Eddie and Venom turned out to be the perfect match.
Please let me fix it, so I can push it again! You are a loser.
But it seems that the Venom symbiote is also a good match for Cletus Cassidy. He must have bonded with Cassidy's blood through that letter. And when Cassidy bit Eddie, another perfect match was formed. There's also a theory suggesting that a part of the Venom symbiote in Cassidy's blood could have been infused with the poison that was being pushed into his veins. It would be the mixture that ultimately creates Carnage. Now I'm not sure about this one since we clearly saw the symbiote push the poison away. So maybe that Clinter bite was solely responsible for the creation of Carnage. But there's one other thing that I've noticed in the trailer. If you look closely at Carnage, he and Cletus Cassidy seem to be the same entity. Venom and Eddie are two different individuals who have their own conscience.
I will let you eat everybody!
Promise!
I promise!
Oh yeah!
But Carnage and Cletus seem to be a single person. Venom forms around the body of Eddie, and when Carnage emerges, it looks as if he is coming out of Cassidy's bloodlines. The symbiote actually transforms Cassidy's body into Carnage. There are two major differences for this notion. One of them is that we haven't really heard Carnage speak. So it seems that even if he will speak, it will actually be Cassidy who's speaking. He is in control at all times, as Carnage and Cletus are one and the same. The second evidence for this comes during the prison fight. While Carnage gets shot, we can see a clear hole in his body. If a symbiote would make a hole like this, then it's obvious that its host would be visible through the hole. If Carnage and Cletus were two different people, then this shot would have shown us Cletus's body getting wounded. But it is clear that the symbiote allows the deranged murderer to transform into a monster. It's the same as Bruce Banner transforming into the Hulk. Now this is very different from the comics. Venom was the one who birthed Carnage. He left him in a prison cell when he came back to bond with Eddie Brock. The Clinter didn't really feel a conscious love for their offspring, so this information was never passed on to Eddie. Soon the prison baby version of the symbiote found a host. Carnage bonded with Cletus Cassidy and created a very unstable and very erratic supervillain. Director Andy Serkis revealed that all the symbiotes reflect the person who is their host. So the darkness of Carnage, the playfulness, the wit, and the strangeness comes from Cletus. He has a real intelligence and a real sense of humor. Now that will be intensified when he bonds with a piece of Venom symbiote that grows inside him. Cassidy's murderous tendencies will increase dramatically with the new power that he gets through Brock. And he will unleash absolute carnage once he breaks out of prison. His abusive childhood is what turned him into a serial killer. Big Daddy Cassidy used to beat him up a lot. He used his mother in front of him. This gave Cletus a massive inferiority complex. So the only way he could feel powerful and like his father was by causing pain to others. Then he killed his grandmother by pushing her down a flight of stairs. And he almost killed his mother as well. Taking a life made him feel powerful, and that power ultimately turned him into a serial killer.
People love serial killers.
Now let's see how this drive to kill compares with Sony's Venom franchise. Let me warn you, the upcoming intel is a bit gory since I'm going to reveal the killings of Cassidy. So you could stop the video right here if you don't want to know about the gruesome murders. Okay, so after the release of Venom, the notes that Eddie made upon Cletus were revealed. These notes give us the history of Cassidy and a look into his psyche. Brock states that he killed his grandmother by pushing her down a flight of stairs. This is similar to the comics. Then later, he went on a huge massacre in New York City before slaughtering 11 people in Rikers maximum security penitentiary.
Hey, Brock, I want to give you my story. People love serial killers.
During the interview, Brock came to know that Cassidy has an Oedipus complex. This is a psychoanalytic theory proposing that certain children have possessive sexual desires for their opposite-sex parent while viewing their same-sex parent as a rival. I know, it's crazy. Because of this complex, Cassidy dug up his mother's grave after the massacre.
I'm not a crazy man. I am a vengeful one.
He was born in Brooklyn, New York. He is described as a homicidal maniac with an insane mind and a lust for destruction. He grew up in St. Este's Home for Boys after he became an orphan. He even lit the home on fire, killing the disciplinarian administrator. According to the notes of Eddie, Cassidy killed his mother's dog while torturing him with a drill. He also killed a girl by pushing her in front of a bus as she refused his proposal. To summarize it all, Brock reveals that all this bloodshed marks the ultimate freedom for Cassidy. Now just imagine what he's going to do once he becomes Carnage. We were worried that the film's PG-13 rating may not make Carnage feel as threatening as he could be. But the new trailer showed that the film is doing total justice to the character. I mean, what could be more threatening than Carnage shoving his tongue into someone else's mouth and killing him? This film is going to be dark, funny, and absolutely bonkers. I just can't wait for it. Can you? Let us know your reactions upon the new Carnage reveals. Leave a thumbs up and do press the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to check out some more fun videos on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!